What's up, guys? So welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Bama Jaybird Resell. Guys, it's great to have you with me today. So today I've got two things, okay? Like always, we're going to go over what sold. I had a weekend worth of sales that, I wish could have been better, if I'm being honest. I wish I would have sold more like 15 or 20 items. It would have been a fantastic weekend. But I can't really complain too much about the overall value of sales in money because it was pretty good. I had 10 sales, but they totaled $588.63. Now, things are slow for a lot of people right now, and I get that. So like I said, I don't want to complain too much. I want to be thankful for what is happening because, look, it could be worse. I could have had 0 sales. So I'm thankful for what I did have. I'm pushing hard, trying to work on listing more, and that's going to be our topic today. The importance of listing every day. It's easy to get in a stupor, to get a little bit burnt out. eBay really pushes us. I mean, it's just a lot of time, it's a lot of commitment, all the different facets of what we do. So, we got to find a way not to get in that place where we get so overwhelmed that we just let it go. And so listing every day is so important. But before we start talking about that anymore, let's go ahead and jump into what sold over the weekend. And the first item that I have going out today is actually a pajama top. This is, had a little crash. This is a pajama top made by Cuddle Duds. Guys, I didn't get much for this. This was $6 plus shipping. And I gave $2 for it. So I had that for a while. It's just been sitting around in the store. It's a size medium. I figured I had a chance to get rid of it. I had an offer sent and I only had $9.99 on it. So I took a $6 offer just to see it, say goodbye or whatever. So I'm glad that it's leaving the house. I'll say that it's a small item. It didn't take up space, but especially selling clothes, it's easy to start accumulating items that haven't sold. And we may talk about that in a future video and the importance of trying to address that issue. All right, the next item going out, this is a Jimmy Page and the Black Crows CD. This comes from that same storage locker lady. So the one I've been selling a lot out of, especially the rock CDs. That one sold for $11 plus shipping. I sent out an offer and was glad to get that. That was a pretty good sale, adding to my total. Okay, so that's about a quarter in that. Turned into $11 plus shipping. All right, so this next item is actually from that purchase of Nintendo gear that I bought, the two brothers. I've mentioned that in past videos. If you haven't heard me say that, or if you don't remember that, go back and watch some of the old videos. You'll see it. I've sold quite a bit of stuff out of that at this point. I still got a good bit to go. Still have items I haven't listed because, I'm one of those guys. I get attached to stuff. I've got 2 Nintendo 64s that are complete in the box. One of them still has the plastic around it. I mean, it's not brand new. They use the units, but they look like new. And the boxes aren't even, man, they're just the corners. They're in such great condition. I can't get myself to list the things. I've got to hold myself accountable on that too. That's so important. But for now, they've just been, something I look at and it makes me smile. So I haven't had to list them. I know at any point I list those, they're going to sell for good money. And, so when I get in a pinch, things start to slow down. I know I can throw those up. But anyway, this is Powder Puff Girls. What is it? Paint the Townsville green. Paint the Townsville green. So Powder Puff Girls, this is the booklet, the cartridge, and a clamshell case. And I got $17.99 for those, plus shipping. So this next item, I just picked this up a couple of nights ago. This is a Polo Ralph Lauren hooded t-shirt, long sleeve. This is a men's 4XLT. 4XLT. And so when I saw the size, of course, I was automatically intrigued because I've mentioned this before, big sizes sell better than little sizes. It's just the way it is. They're harder to come by. There's not as many of those really large sizes. I mean, a 4X, I don't even hardly ever see a 4X. So, especially in a good name brand. So I picked that up. It appeared to me that they were selling for 25 to 30 bucks. I ended up taking an offer on this for $22.78 plus shipping. Part of the reason for that was that this shirt had a couple of small pinholes in it. So I didn't feel comfortable asking for the same price as those that had no flaws. But anyway, $22.78 plus shipping on that item. And I picked this up. This was one of those random stops. So this was late in the afternoon. I had my mom with me. So this last Friday, it's just been a few days ago, my wife had something come up at work. She normally picks my mom up. She goes to a place called Caring Days on Fridays. And she hangs out with some friends. They do games and exercise and eat breakfast and lunch together. Just a fun time for her especially with the dementia, just gets her out of the house and lets her have some time away. And helps us out too, if I'm being honest. But my wife is able to drop her off on the way to work, pick her up after work normally. She had to go out in the field. She's a nurse. She's over some home health stuff, so she had to go out and take care of a patient. And so I drove to Tuscaloosa to pick Mom up, and we decided to go to Goodwill. I hadn't took her with me to Goodwill in a while because it's getting harder on her. But I took her with me, and so she was kind of following me around, and I just happened upon that. I thought, man, 4XLT, I'm buying it. We actually were just waiting for my wife because we were going to meet and eat before we came home. And anyway, that's probably more information than you wanted on that. But that's how I got the shirt, $4.99 into a $22.78 purchase in a matter of 3 days. You really can't beat that. So next item. This is a Laker brand fly fishing vest. It's kind of folded up and hard to see. Some of these items that you can't get a good picture of, I'll try my best to remember to put some photos up on the screen so that you can see those. But again, this is Laker brand, and it is new with tags, and I got $24.99 plus shipping for that, and gave $5.99 for it. Next item. So this is another lot of CDs, but this is the rap hip hop CDs that I purchased at Goodwill. So if you remember from previous videos, those that have been watching, if not, if you're new to the channel, I've had multiple CD buys. I've actually got a huge one that I purchased recently that I'm working on getting the video together on, and I'm going to start listing once I release that video. So be looking for that in the next week or so, maybe this week, hopefully. But this one is a set of 9 rap and hip hop CDs. I paid 99 cents for most of these. Some of them might have been 50 cents. A few were half off. And so included in this is Cassidy, Genius, Juvenile, Big L, Young Guns. You get the point. So it's just everyone's different artists on each one of these. And I sold these for $30 plus shipping. So 9 of these, about $9 or less into $30 plus shipping. Can't beat that. Next item. This one got me excited. So one of my local thrift stores that I go to, not the one in my hometown, but one that's fairly close by, about 20 minutes away. I don't make a lot of special trips there, but it's the town that I go to get like prescriptions filled when I have to go to Walmart and buy groceries and things like that, or pick things up for the house. And so anytime I'm in town there, I make a stop. And as I was going in this particular day, they had a couple of buckets out front, and one of them was filled with hats. This is one of the hats that was in there. This is a starter brand wool vintage hat with the script Baltimore Orioles. A really cool, really awesome hat. And they wanted $0.25 a piece for the hats. So unfortunately, there were not a lot of these in there. There were a couple other vintage ones, but they were in bad shape. This one was in really good shape. And then they had a couple of newer hats that were in good shape. So I got about 4 that day for about $1. And this one by itself sold for $30 plus shipping. I love those kind of sales. That's the kind of hat too, by the way, that it's very hard for me to, I love hats. So I want to keep stuff like that. Next item. So this is a set of 5 Smores Ornaments. You can see these possibly. I'll put a picture of these up. That's a little better. But I picked these up at a yard sale. I think it was either $1 or $2 a piece. If we say they were $2 a piece, that would make this $10 worth of inventory that I flipped for $30 plus shipping. So a good flip either way, but I really think these were about $1 or $1.50. I know they weren't over 2. I would not have paid more than $2 a piece. But again, I flipped these into $30. Really cool item. My wife actually loves s'mores, and so I thought when I picked these up that she might end up wanting to keep them and use them on our tree. Another point about this, I hear this all the time from other resellers, and I think it's worth repeating for some of you that may be new or maybe haven't seen those videos from other resellers. Christmas will sell all year long. Don't get this in your mind that you got to hoard your Christmas items up until September, October to start listing them. List that stuff, man. It can sell any time of the year. This stuff was listed through Christmas and didn't sell. I had a lot of watchers. I had people that were interested, but nobody pulled the trigger. And now here we are, middle of February, and it sells. So you got to just get the stuff listed. Trust yourself and get it listed. Next item. 2 more to go. This is a pair of Tory Burch pumps. They're black, got the gold buckle on them. If you don't know, Tory Burch is definitely a bolo. Anything you see Tory Burch, if it's priced low, guys in good shape, you better grab it. Great brand, absolutely great brand. So I was at the Goodwill the last time I was filming. I'll have a video on this pretty soon. And they brought a cart out, and someone had unloaded their closet and had a lot of designer stuff like this. Now these are only a 6.5, but it didn't matter. There were multiple pairs of these. So I got a pair like this, a pair in like a velvet material. I got a pair of flats, 3 pair of Tory Burches. They were all between $5.99 and $7.99. These were $7.99. And I flipped them for $99.99 for $100. So $8 basically into $100. And guys, you can't beat that kind of flip. The last one. All right. So this is an invisible fence collar. I've done a thrifting video where you can see this. It comes with the battery. I've already sold a set of these power caps. I think it was either $79.99 or $99.99. It's either $80 or $100. It was a good sale either way. But there was a bag of this stuff. It had like 9 of these power caps, 2 collars, and they wanted $6. So I spent $6. I've way more than made my money back, you know, and a big profit just off the caps I sold. And now this item sold for $200. $200, guys. So I made $200, okay, on this sale, and it's pure profit because I've already paid for the $6. And I love sales like that. You can't beat it. Be on the lookout when you're at yard sales and thrift stores for anything that is invisible fence related. It's worth a lot of money, and it's got a great sell-through rate. Fabulous item to be picking up. All right, so that's everything that is sold. Let me very quickly address this topic now. So the importance of us listing every day. Guys, you got to do it. You just got to. It's not an option whether or not we are accountable, if you will. We got to have accountability. You know, for some of you, this isn't a full-time job, and I get that. I've been there. I've been on both sides of this. Most resellers have if they're full-time. They've been where they were only part-time before. But even if it's part-time, you still got to be accountable. You can't run any business efficiently and effectively without accountability. And a big part of your accountability as a reseller is to list items every day in your store. You've got to do it. Treat it again like it's a job, because that is exactly what it is. And if you have any dreams of shifting from part-time to full-time at any point in the future, you're going to have to treat it like a job to ever get there. And once you are there, it's not like it's all just easy. Well, now I can just kick my feet up. No, you're going to have to work even harder. So treat it like a job. Now, I will say this, and I won't get too deep into this idea because I don't want to, you know, frustrate anybody. I know this is a reselling channel. Don't prioritize anything, okay, so much that it begins to interfere with your faith or your family. Never do that. Nothing is more important than your faith and your family, ever. Never, okay? But sometimes in making sure that we are committed to our work, we're actually fulfilling those duties as well. And you got to remember that. We are required to and expected to work to take care of our families, and that's part of it. So anyway, why list every day then? Well, it increases traffic from eBay. The more you are active on the platform, doing anything really, but listing is one of the key components, the more traffic you will get. And new items that you list are automatically going to get more views than other items do. They're going to go closer to the top of search results, so you get more views, and more visibility will always, 100% of the time, guys, it will increase sales. A buyer cannot buy something from you, okay? They can't buy something from you if they don't see it. And from what I've read and understood from research, about 75% of buyers never make it past the first page. I mean, if they're not going to make it past the first page, then it must be pretty important, especially in a saturated market, right, for your items to be on that first page if possible. I mean, that's one of the reasons why so many resellers are so hardline on promotions, because they know that will force their items closer to the top. And I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I don't do it very much, but I do think there are times when it calls for it. But we won't talk about promotions today. Let's stick to the idea of listing. So it increases traffic, which is more views, more visibility is more sales. More frequent sales will increase your total number of sales, which increases your total income and hopefully can move you further along your long-term plan. You know, even if you're already full-time, I'm sure you've got a goal, like a certain monetary goal you want to reach. Maybe you've never hit 6 figures and that's what you want to see. For me, that's like my goal for this year. I'd like to see my store do a gross sales of 6 figures. I think that would be a good step forward for me. But that being said, The last thing I'll say about listing, it's very easy for us, whether we're starting out, whether we're just a part-timer for a long time or we're full-time, it's easy to make excuses and say, well, I would list every day, but, or I plan to list every day, but this happened. And oftentimes it boils down to this idea, well, I just don't have enough time. Guys, we got to quit making excuses. I mean, I've got compassion for you. Don't misunderstand me. I've got so much going on. Sometimes it is absolutely crazy. I don't know how I manage it sometimes. And sometimes I don't do a good job of it. But that doesn't mean that I can't hold myself accountable and stick to a commitment. And that's what it comes down to. Commit yourself. Find the time. Sometimes I have to stay up late and to get my listings in, but I make sure that I try to get my listings in every single day because it is so important. One way you can get around this issue of not having time on the daily, find the days where you do have time and maybe commit extra. Do a draft bank. I don't use a draft bank currently, although it's something I'm going to have to do this year because I've got so many things that's going to require time and going to hinder me getting listings done. If I don't have one, I'm going to miss days without listings. So I'm going to work on that. But I will tell you this, and I'll wrap up with this idea. Listing every day will look different for me than it does for you. For some people, that means 25 items a day or they're not succeeding. For some people, guys, if you don't have a lot of time and you're doing this part-time, it might be 3 good listings every day. That might be what it's about for you, and that's fine. I would also say this, sometimes rather than putting a numerical number of listings as the goal for listing every day, people will put a dollar value that they want to list, 5 items or say $200 worth of stuff. So some days maybe they can list 1 item that they know has a $200, this right here, 1 item that's going to sell for $200. And so when that sells, it levels things out. But the thing is, if you can list this plus, if you're shooting for 10 plus the other 9 or plus the other 4 if it's 5, then you're going to make more. When this sells, you're going to have a really big day instead of it just smoothing things out. So I don't know. Maybe that helps you. Maybe it doesn't. I sure hope it does. My goal every time that I start this camera up is to give you something that helps you. So that's the tip of the day, guys. List every single day. Be accountable. Hold yourself accountable, and let's stop making excuses for ourselves. I hope that don't sound harsh. I just know it's an easy trap to fall into because I fall into it as well. It's so easy to make an excuse and just put it off till another day. But man, we got to have a really committed mindset if we want to have the kind of success that we see for our future in reselling when we're watching all these videos and first getting started. The reason some of those people get there is because they are consistent when others are not. And so I know for me, that's so important, guys, to list every day, be consistent about it. Guys, I love you. Man, I appreciate you. Appreciate all the support, all the help, all the reselling community, all of the new subscribers, all of the good comments, all of the suggestions. I'm so thankful. I cannot thank y'all enough. I'm not worthy of all the help and all the love and support y'all give me, but I thank you for it, guys. Again, I love you. God loves you. Never forget that. And guys, as I always tell you, whatever you do, don't give up. Keep pressing. Keep going. You'll get there if you keep going. Don't give up. See you on the next one.